of a Rebbe is a day of simcha when we make l'chaims to the neshama, because it's a day that the Chassidim have an opportunity to come together from far and wide and share in their ideas and what they knew from the tzaddik, and share in his message and make sure that it doesn't get lost. And it's a day where we can be a little bit closer. And so, l'chaim, first of all. The neshamas of Benimin, Zev, and Talia should have an aliyah, as they say. They should go on higher and higher and be under the kisei hakavod. L'chaim, l'chaim. When I see a picture of Benimin, it says Hashem Yikom Domo. It also says Hayad, and that's the picture of him going like this. And I feel like he's saying to us that we need to just keep on going further. Obviously, the fist has always been the sign of the Jewish strength connected to the Kahana movement, and that's what I feel like. Meir Kahana was a little bit more the American style, and Benimin Zev, I think, was just like so simple in his ways and didn't have too much flair about him. And I think that's the lesson that I take from his life in a certain way, is just to always say the truth in its simplicity. I hate to disagree with Mike. Mike is a really close, dear friend. Mike is one of the Lamed Vav Tzadikim that keeps this world together. We all know that. Yeah, he deserves a lot more than clapping. I don't know what it is that we can ever repay such a tzaddik with. And I hate to disagree with him in the fact that I said it from day one about the murder of Benimin, Zev, and Talia. It seemed pretty obvious to anybody that walked this planet that they were targeted. I guess I'm not official spokesperson of the organization, so I have the right to say that. So yeah, thank you. It's a real pleasure hearing Ron play. I know he's running to catch a bus. This man is, next time it was good to jam with you for a minute. This, if you haven't bought his CDs, I suggest it. It's uplifting and creative, and it's Zionist, and it's connected to the land. And he's the religious Paul Simon in a way, that you are, and a little Bob Dylan influence. And give out. It's always good to hear you. It's fireworks. So here we go. Maka. It's a lot of reverb, brother. All right. Kine yovecha Adonai. הנה יבך אדוני, הנה יבך יאבנו, הנה יבך אדוני, הנה יבך יאבנו. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, שם אחד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, כי יש שם אלוקינו, שם אחד. כשאדם יודע שכל מאורותיו הם לטובתו, זאת הבחינה אם אין עולם הבא. כשאדם יודע שכל מאורותיו הם לטובתו, זאת הבחינה, אם אין עולם הבא. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, כי שם אלוקינו שם אחד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, לא נראה ולא נפחד, כי שם אלוקינו השם אחד. לא נראה ולא נפחד, כי השם אלוקינו השם אחד. So here's a song I wrote many years back for the late great Rabbi Meir Kahana, and I only got to meet Benimin I believe twice in my life, and Lenny was saying how he didn't speak too much of English. And it's kind of funny, when I first met him in Israel, Lenny was there at the Jewish Idea before it was shut down by the unholy authorities. And I met Benimin then and tried to like nudge him and ask him something or whatever. And he says to me, I don't speak English, sorry. That's what he said to me. And then I said, okay, cool. And a month before he was killed, he was talking in New York, as Mike was saying. He was on his trip there, and I believe it was at the yard site for his father, and I heard him speak, and I gotta say he was pretty darn good in his English. He was a little bit of an uneven in that way. It was definitely better than my Hebrew, that's all I can say. And that was about a month before he was killed. And Lenny was talking about the Parsha sheets, and I'll never forget actually the picture of how much he was saying, how much he sacrificed for the Parsha sheets. He was even dictating to his wife in jail, and I can just picture the photograph of the murder and his blood on those Parsha sheets. So he literally gave his life to those Parsha sheets. Anyway, this is the song of that was written. It's called If You Were Here. Ever since you were gone, the world's been a crazy place. Between you and me, nothing's changed much. There's still fear by the mere mention of your name. You were a man when no man was there, and I'd feel safer if you were here. Never again was a promise you would keep. You said there is no honor in dying like sheep to the slaughter. Every Jew with a 22, 'cause talk is cheap. And you wiped away our tears, and I'd feel safer if you were here. La 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 la. In our eyes when it was clear we could not see, and it came as no surprise. You were jailed for bravery in your own country, but you did not rest. You made the best of your destiny, and you would not give in to fear. feel safer if you were here. And I'd feel safer if you were here. And I'd feel safer if you were here. Whoa. Ahead of your time, and a prophet in our midst. You were a leader like no other. You'll surely be missed like a brother. It was not time to close your eyes. How could you leave us like this? I know you'll shake the heavens from up there, but I'd feel safer if you were here. And I'd feel safer if you were here. And I'd feel safer if you were here. La 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 la. Oh, la 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 la. Oh. And I bid you farewell, be'avat Yisrael. Ezra, you ready? La 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 la. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. ולבקש ולבקש מלך לך, ולבקש ולבקש מלך לך, ולבקש ולבקש מלך לך, ולבקש ולבקש מלך לך. La 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 la. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. הכפירים שואגים, שואגים לטרף. ולבקש, ולבקש מלך לך. מלך לעם. ולבקש מלך לעם. ולבקש מלך לעם. La 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 la. Whoa! La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה. כך, היי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה 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 חי. עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל, עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה 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 חי, חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי. עוד כהנה, עוד כהנה חי.
Thank you to Rocky Ziegler, Rachmiel Ziegler. Before we leave, Yefi Madanik has a few words to share with us about the Russian division of the Kahana movement. So please stay put for a few minutes and let's hear what Yefi has to say.
Okay. Mike told that I'm doctor, I'm a translator and journalist. And this book just tells you everything. This is book Rabbi Meir Kahane to the 3rd anniversary of his murder. And now we dedicated it, receiving it 2 years ago to this memory of Benimin Zev Kahane and Golda Yelin that it was first published in Maoz. Mike is too optimistic. He says that maybe someday rabbis would somehow support Kahane. Wrong. In Russia there was a joke, and I'll tell you this joke. There was a scientific institution who was given funds to develop a process of turning, dung into butter. And when they spent 50% of their money, they were asked for a preliminary report. So the leader of the group said, okay, we sold it halfway. It could already be spread, but it still stinks. I'm sorry that I'm telling you this. There is another very sad joke about a madhouse where visitors come and talk to inmates. And one inmate said, you know, our doctor built us a pool. And he said, if we behave, he'll let water be added to this pool so that we can... No. This is a country of scared rabbis, and don't think, please don't think you can change the situation unless Mashiach comes. I'll tell you about what happened in 1988. You all know the paper, the Jewish Press, a paper created by Rabbi Kahana of blessed memory. And then in 1988, there was an article by a prominent rabbi, now late, so I don't give his name, and he wrote that Kahana is dangerous for outside of Knesset, more dangerous. Unfortunately, I talked to many religious people, they are afraid. How to get them rid of the fear, I don't know. Lubavitch Rebbe, blessed memory, once said that people from Russia one day will teach us how to pray. So far it does not happen. And this is our greatest failure. On the 10th of Tevet, we'll have a fast, and you know why it's fast. One of the reasons is because the Torah was translated into Greek language. Actually, we are happy when books of Rav Kahana are translated. This was a big tragedy. But what we miss here, we don't speak to Russian speakers in their language. On the first anniversary of the murder of Rav Kahana, of this memory, we had a meeting near Mashbir, and there, Benimin Kahana of blessed memory told me, you can say a couple of words in Russian. And I said, maybe one day we'll start speaking to you in Russian. So we published one paper, Kahane Chai, and we published another paper, and there were some books, but it's just nothing. We have an institute for publication of works of Rabbi Kahane, and it's published only in Hebrew and English. Just don't understand what's going on. We had here a member of Knesset who even does not understand that coming of Sharansky to this country will be 25 years next February, was the greatest tragedy for Israel. Simply don't understand what is happening. Said Sharansky in 86 when he came, I would not meet with Rav Kahane. And it was spread all over the press, and he never met Kahane indeed. What do you have now? You have now Lieberman with his party, and his party, they have program in 2 languages. It's not the language of Jews, it's the language of Arafat. In Russian, he says one thing, and in English, a different thing. They want to turn it into a Soviet Union. What said Rav Kahane in 1990 before leaving for America? He said, don't let Stalin win. But Stalin is winning here. You have here 1 million of Russian speakers. Among them, at least 1/3 officially are non-Jewish. Non-officially, it's even worse. And they said in 1996, when Sharansky brought them to Knesset, today Aliyah belongs to us, tomorrow all Israel. A normal house has 1 door. Here they open 4 doors. 4 ministers are Russians. One is foreign minister, and I don't have to explain to you what is foreign minister. It's a step to becoming prime minister. Then there is minister of tourism, and you know what is tourism for Israel. Then there is minister of absorption, Sofa Landver, a minister responsible for information. That is Edelstein. And now Sharansky is heading Sochnut. In 1977, there was here a paper called Week in Israel, Nedelia of Israel. So someone wrote a letter, would be a good idea, one of our people would become a chairman of Sochnut. Now Sharansky is chairman of Sochnut. Now another person wrote, would be a good idea that we go to Knesset. Now they're in Knesset. So 5 doors are open. When Aaron Neivelt from Haifa tried to explain it to Ben-Ari, he even didn't understand what we are talking about. Just don't understand. Russians are communists, and they are Bolsheviks, and their aim is really to create here a Soviet Union. So that's why we have to talk to them in the Russian language. You know why Moshe Rabbeinu translated Torah into 70 languages. He foresaw, being a prophet, he foresaw a time where people wouldn't know the holy language. And that's why he translated the Torah. And every enemy, Le'avdil of Israel, speaks Russian language. There is a site on Hamas which is in Russian language, and missionaries speak Russian language. In Jaffa Road, you have an organization called Kaspari. They published a book about educating Jewish children, and it's in it's in 3 languages, including Russian. So my message is, let's start the Russian speakers in Russian language. If not for them, then for ourselves. And this is what we really are missing. There were here 2 people, Itzhak Streshinsky and Mark Mordechai, who participated in publishing material in Russian. But it's simply not sufficient. Do understand, there is not a single journalist here in Israel, elsewhere, not of Russian origin, who knows Russian language. That's why I'm missing the message. The message is that people here don't want to be Jews. They reject the melting pot theory. They have their radio. A person could come before the normal, not Jewish New Year and said, I am a Soviet person. And just listen what they're saying. That means that you have first of all to learn what they're up to. And then you have to find some way to do what is being done now in English and in Hebrew. And as they say, there are people who can explain it to you. And unfortunately, so far we didn't manage to do it. So since the time when Rav Kahane, last memory, and Benimin were alive, we lost a lot. We lost a contact through Russian language. And normal politeness said you have to speak to people in the language that they understand. And professional maturgeman, that a person who tried to bring the message that Rav spoke to them was very honorable. Here we don't see it. Israel could become a center of translation. Another thing, we have about 3 million Russians, former Soviet citizen, part of them Jewish. 1 million landed here because of the decision of American government. Second is in America, 2 million, and third is dispersed. So my message is, and I want you to just understand it, we have to do what Mike did when he gave money for publishing this book, when he published a poster about 2 books. But main thing is that all religious establishment boycott Kahane. I tried to show this book in Machanaim. There is here a Russian yeshiva. No way. There is Shvutami. No way. There is a big yeshiva, Toldot Yeshurun, founded by, of blessed memory, Rav Yitzchak Zilber, and his son is there. They are afraid. So if we can, to get them rid of their fear. Today we are here. We should have started with the thanks to God that He allows us to come here and talk without observation from the side of police. And unless, as they say, unless we start taking Russian seriously, as they say, the saying that I heard in London was, visit Russia before Russia visits you. The second thing, think Russian, think Israel. The joke is, when Brezhnev was General Secretary of Russia, he was asked one, Mr. Brezhnev, how many Jews are there in Israel? It could have been 65, 8. He said about 3 to 4 million. Mr. Brezhnev, and we will allow everyone to leave Russia. How many of them will leave? He said 30 to 40 million. And now we see that every person can come from Russia. We have here neo-Nazis. And main thing that this party needs Russians, like Sharansky's party needed them. So just keep an eye on them. Know what they're up to. They want simply to build here Soviet Union. If you read Alexander Zinoviev, he explained what is Homo Sovieticus. And there are some other authors who wrote about Soviet Union. I know that in yeshiva they don't teach Russian language. Some people know Arabic. You know what happened in America? They didn't know Arabic language, so they missed the message of the terrorists. Here you are missing the message. There is a cultural center built by Putin in Tel Aviv, and Russian radio, Reshet Klitat Aliyah, and there is Russian TV. And now with Ukraine, there is a new system where people could come here without visas. And so the idea is to flood Israel with non-Jews. Look, now we have Della Pergola, a specialist in demography. He wrote, it was in Jerusalem Post, God forbid, we Jews becoming a minority between the river and the sea. And this is specifically what was written in the book, They Must Go, in English. Rav Kahane quoted an Arab who said that in 1976, he was a minority and he accepted his status. But he said, when, not if. When we are a majority, I wouldn't accept the status. They're speaking openly about that. And same thing is happening now with foreign workers. They claim it's 250 to 400,000 foreign workers here. And now we have people, guests, uninvited guests from Africa. So we have to understand it's a matter of our survival, and it's very important. normally in an organism, the last function that is remain is function of reproduction. We are not reproducing Jews here. I'm sorry, statistically. In Russia, they said if people don't like the government changed the people. So they killed between 20 and 80 million under Stalin and Lenin. They changed the population. Here they want to turn Jews into Zionists, and it's very bad. It's not Zionists of the time when there was grandfather of Herzl. They are Zionists present. They are post-Zionists, whatever. Rav Kahan, he wrote that his Zionism is not Zionism of Herzl, but of grandfather of Herzl. So with this, I'm leaving you, and as I say, I'm very grateful that I was able to speak about it. I just please think Russian, think Israel. Thank you.